Good morning, good evening, or good night. Whatever is the time that you are watching us, it's always a good time to listen about veterinary medicine. I think that all students who are going into the veterinary field are very driven, ambitious, and thoughtful animal lovers. And two of us are actually with us in the studio today. Welcome, Gregory and Emma.
Hi.
Hello.
So, first thing first, could you please tell us something more about yourselves, where do you come from, and also what year are you at right now? Sorry.
So my name's Emma and I'm from the west of Ireland. I'm in fourth year and I suppose I came here because obviously I've grew up with animals on a farm and love animals, and I also have a big interest in science as well.
My name's Gregory and I'm from the southeast of Ireland, and I decided I wanted to come here to study veterinary because, well, I wanted to study veterinary and I had seen some friends come here before me and heard a lot of great feedback about the university, and yeah.
Okay, thank you. So what exactly inspired you to go into the veterinary? You said that you love animals and that you grew up on a farm, but maybe also something else. I think you mentioned something about horse riding before.
Yeah, so growing up on the farm is a big part of it, and seeing the procedures done at home, and Dad had a lot to do with that too. Yeah, I always had a big interest in horses and horse riding. It's definitely something I'd like to go into in the future. Yeah, and then science in school is something that I found interesting. Suppose, yeah, I've always just seen myself doing veterinary and never really thought of anything else. That's it, really.
Well, growing up, I had a few different ideas of what I wanted to do, but I finally settled on veterinary eventually. And I suppose that also came from coming from a rural farming background, growing up on a farm, seeing the circle of life, and realising that veterinary was for me. Yeah.
That's a good choice then, I think. So you decided to go abroad and study here in Poland. So I suppose that you're not the only ones who are from abroad here studying on SGW. So I would like to ask you about your experience with working with teammates from all over the world. How do you find, I don't know, language barrier or anything here?
Well, I suppose we're kind of lucky coming from Ireland that English is our first language. But until now, after 5 years, it hasn't become a huge issue. And most of the other students in my year and in the course, I find, have great English, along with most of the teachers and the faculty as well. But as for integrating with students from different countries, it's an amazing opportunity to experience different cultures, meet different people, understand that we have different viewpoints on life, but then just realize that we can all work together towards a common goal. And things like playing our Gaelic football here, and we could have friends from India or Israel playing football with us, and we're all as if we're in Ireland, or it could be anywhere in the world, and it makes no difference where you're from in the end.
Well, sounds great. And what about you?
Yeah, first I suppose it was a bit intimidating, coming to a foreign country and different languages and slightly different accents and that, and especially with the course, a lot of it being through Latin, but we had Latin classes and Polish classes, and we weren't long getting around the language barrier and understanding people a bit more. And definitely as well, the Irish community here is something that I was more inclined to join the college here in Warsaw than anywhere else, and we have a big football team, and it helps a lot. You don't really feel like you're away from home a lot of the time.
So it's all about discovering, but at the same time you have all around you the roots from your home. Yeah, I think that's very helpful. What do you find most interesting about your studies so far? What do you go through all the course, and what are your favorite areas that you studied?
I think the horse aspect of it for me is most interesting. Yeah, just spending time and learning about all the different diseases and maybe things that I might have seen a small bit of, and learning more about that. But then also other things that I never would have thought of looking at. And seeing different people's perspectives on them as well. It's good, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to kind of concur with Emma there. But I think it's very interesting how, you know, we come in here at the first day of our 5 years and, you know, learn the very basics from your anatomy, and then you move up to your physiology, your microbiology. But all of that eventually comes together in your final few years of the course. So I suppose sometimes it can be difficult and daunting looking at your preclinical years, but you then come to realize in your clinical years why you had to you know, I wouldn't say suffer through it, but have to do these things you don't necessarily want to do and that you hear are very daunting before you start the course from other people. But in the end, you know, it all comes together and makes sense. And I suppose that's probably one of the main goals of the course, is to teach us to become problem solvers, because that's really what we will be doing in our everyday's work, is being posed with these challenges and problems and having to find a solution or a treatment for them.
Yeah, I think it's like, you know, solving puzzles. You get all the pieces in the beginning and then you can see the full picture just in the end of your course. Well, sounds great. And what are your plans after graduating? What is your dream job or career paths that you can take after?
I think we'll be going home after graduating to work in Ireland. Probably not too close to home at the start, just so we can learn a bit more, a bit further away from home where not everyone knows us. I'd like to do mixed at the start of my career and make sure that, I think I would like to go into horses eventually, so just make sure that that's for me and maybe learn different skills and learn how to do more things on the farm too before I go into horses. Then my dream job would probably be working with horses, maybe like repro work, or kind of thinking about surgery, but that's a very long route, so I'm not too sure about that yet.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
And what about you, Gregory?
So I suppose for myself, you know, I'm kind of coming closer to finishing up my course, and I think at the minute I would like to work with horses. So, you know, time will tell, and I have a while yet, so we'll see exactly what way, you know, things pan out, and the best laid plans can be messed up very quickly. So we'll see where I end up.
Do you get to practice your knowledge outside of classroom a lot? Or is it more like closed environment just on our university?
In the last kind of 5 or 6 semesters of the course, you definitely get to get out a bit to the college farm, Aubrey. You know, there's a big dairy farm out there, and in the horse clinic there's always different patients with different challenges that you get to see. Now and again we get to get out to other places, like particularly horse clinics that are associated with the college but, you know, not a part of the college. And also in the summers of 4th and 5th year then we get to do our summer veterinary placement, and in earlier years we also do farm placement for a couple of weeks each summer, just to get, I suppose, the basics of it for people and ensure everyone has a rounded view of farming and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like a bit of everything throughout your course. Sounds very compelling, and I feel honestly very encouraged to apply. Well, I can't, but but I would if I could. So thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your knowledge with us, and thank you for joining us today. I would like to encourage you to take a step further and actually apply for next semester of veterinary medicine. Thank you so much for being us today.